For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we're back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Connor of the Southern Gothic. How's it going today, Connor?
Oh, it's going well, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. It's had to cancel out. Something was feeding back into my headphones. It was driving me nuts, but things are going good. You know, Texas, Texas is being Texas right now. We're getting a lot of rain and things are looking up. So, it's been a little bit since we've had you on the podcast. What was it, like 2020, early pandemic, when you released your
That sounds
album?
about right.
I think it was when you released your EP, right?
Yeah, so I guess that was the end of 2020, but we may have talked to you earlier than that. It was one of those things where the album was supposed to come out a whole lot earlier than it actually did. And the typical, pandemic album situation.
Yep, that was a very typical story during the pandemic, where albums supposed to come out at this time, and then it came out 6 months later or whatever.
Right.
And we're excited to have you in the studio, because I believe last time you were on your way to Florida, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's coming back to me. Yeah, I remember now. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm really excited to sit down and chat with you a little bit, and since it's been a little bit. For the people that are just getting to know you for the first time and just kind of a nice little refresh, what's your background? What got you into music, stuff of that nature?
Yeah. As far as what got me into music, I don't know, man. It's really been the only possibility in my mind. I never really considered doing anything else for a living. So as far as getting into the music business, I've been playing with this band since 2008, and really Sean and I, the two, longtime founding members that are still in the band. I've been playing with him since 2004. So, when you find something that works, you stick with it. So he and I have been playing together forever. And, back in 2013, we had an album that was did real well for us, and it was a number one on a couple of Billboard charts, and had a song called Sheets Down that did real well on CMT and a lot of like Americana radio outlets. So that was kind of where we left off, and then came back in 2020 for what was supposed to be the the next album, the follow up, and that's how how it went.
So in between those two projects, did you guys just like take a little bit of a break, or were you just playing shows and focusing on that?
So we did tour for a good 5 years on that record. And then we took a couple of years off. I'd gotten the opportunity to come to Nashville and write some songs for other people, and, work at a music publisher, and, just do the songwriting thing. And so that was, it was an exciting opportunity, and got me off the road, and, got to actually be there for the first couple of years with my youngest daughter, not seeing all of her firsts through cell phone videos. So it was nice. It was a change of pace. And then we were end of 2019, we were ready to get back to it, and so we got in there and started working on a new record, and it was ready to go in early 2020. We got out there and did the first month and a half of 2020. We toured hard, kind of in anticipation of the release, and then 2020 happened.
Yep. 2020 is going to 2020. So obviously the pandemic kind of halted everything, as I'm sure we talked about during the last podcast, but it's one of those things where when last time we talked, it was still so early during the pandemic in the grand scheme of things that nobody knew what was going to happen. So it was interesting.
I think right now we're just now starting to think we might know what's going to happen. So
yeah, that's very true. So you got a new single out now, which is it leading up is it in addition to the EP to go towards like a full album, or are you kind of staying singles? Like, what's the?
So this was this on the EP we put out in 2020, which was Burning Moonlight. This was one of the tunes from that record, and we'd kind of been messing around with, that record was definitely like kind of our, just dipping our toe into the kind of electronica, country rock vibe. And it was just, it was something fun to do. It was definitely not our norm. And so we kind of started doing that song live a little differently and started doing it a little more like, I don't know, almost bluegrassy. And I played it for Catch Secor, who sings for Old Crow Medicine Show. And he's like, what you're missing is some fiddle. Yeah. And we just hadn't had a chance to put fiddle on it, but he was like, we put some fiddle on it. So what do you say? Yeah, come on, let's do it. He knew that song. His kids and mine go to school together, and one of his kids had just sort of wore our CD out in their van that still had a CD player. So he knew the song and kind of knew where the lyrics were going and the pickups, and so he just came in one take, just laid down this fiddle and got that done, and some backing vocals, and so we got to we're like we can't just let that sit there. It was really just going to be, I was recording it for just a little acoustic version for a radio thing. Yeah. And I was like, no, we're gonna do some more with that. So we finished it up and put it out as a single, and it's pretty good. I've been really gratified by the response. I think we've had about 100,000 streams on it, so it's it's getting out there and just kind of leading us back to back to our vibe, what we've always done. So I think we're ready to kind of get back to our roots a bit.
For sure. And so is that what the difference between just the Up on Your Love and then the Sunday Sunrise edition is? The Sunday Sunrise is a little bit more bluegrass with the fiddle. Yeah,
it's got the same words. It's so different. They might as well be different songs. Just got such different treatment. So, but that's the regular version on the record, and then the Sunday Sunrise was just a standalone single.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And then, is there any video components for this song, or where's like a music video? I guess I don't know why.
I mean, this one was it was a second edition that we had done a video for the original version. So we didn't really get into that, and Catch was nice enough to do the fiddle on it. And they got a new record out. I wasn't going to try to be like, hey, can you come also be in the video? He was real generous with his time the first time. So it just didn't seem like the right time for it. And we've got some stuff like that coming up. So nice. So I wasn't sweating it too hard.
Nice. And you said you met Catch through your kids, because your kids go to school together?
Yeah, actually Catch started the school here in Nashville. So so I've met him before that, but obviously when your kids go to school together, you run into each other a lot, and I've gotten to chat with them a lot more over the past few years.
That's really cool. Yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny that
Nashville, man.
It's actually kind of funny you brought up Old Crow Medicine Show. There's this guy that I've been following on Facebook ever since we started doing Live and Amplified about 6 years ago. He just started playing with Old Crow within the last
Jerry or
year.
Mason? Mason, yeah.
Yeah. And, it's just one of those things where I've never met him, but we've been friends on Facebook for at least 3 years. And, just through the Live and Amplified and being active in the Nashville scene as much as I can be, considering I live 11 hours away, so that was just kind of interesting how sometimes your roads cross. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mason is funny. We've got a kind of a rotating fiddle chair in the band. A lot of times it's Kyle Puddens, but sometimes Faye Petrie, and she's been playing with us going back to about 2014. And she and Mason are pretty tight. They grew up playing fiddle in all like the North Carolina, mountain, week of fiddling on the mountain where they just go camp out and, whatever. So yeah, it's a small world in this part of the country for sure.
Gotcha. So for Up on Your Love, obviously it's been out for a good minute, but the Sunday Sunrise edition is out now. It's up on Spotify, all that fun stuff. Why did you kind of choose to add the bluegrass spin to this song specifically?
Well, really, honestly, we just, when we started going out on the road after Burning Moonlight came out, and we were trying to, figure out how the set worked with our new songs and our old songs, and the new songs were definitely like a pretty big departure. So we try to do some of the new songs old style, and maybe some of the old songs in the new style, and sort of make that crossfade that makes the show work. And that was one of the ones that we thought worked really good with a fiddle pickup. So not even any fiddle on the original version. And and it just worked real well with our set that way. So it was just something we tried one night and it worked, and so it stuck. And we were recording some live performances for a couple of radio stations that we were gonna be on in the next few days to do interviews. And it's tough to do those radio live performances like you used to do. So we were pre-recording a live thing, and that was kind of where that start came from. And we got Ketch's fiddle on it, and then we just kind of added the rest of it, on top of it.
Yeah, gotcha. That's really cool, and it's a really enjoyable. Like I like the song either way, the normal recorded version or even with the fiddle. Last 5 years or so, I've been trying to get more into the bluegrass scene and just appreciating the music for what it is, and so I appreciate the Sunday Sunrise edition as well. So.
Nice.
But
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So you'd mentioned before we jumped on here that you got a new song coming out next month. What can you tell us about it?
So I mentioned that we're kind of with all this new stuff we're recording, we're definitely stylistically kind of taking it back to our roots, and we're the new stuff is a lot closer to our new hometown era songs. And so, I thought about taking it back to my roots. I started thinking about some of the artists that really made an impact on me. And so we're doing one that was my favorite song from the fifth grade. Yeah. So we're gonna put that one out here. I think it's May 13th. I think it's Friday the 13th that's coming out. So I'm really excited to share it with you. We're not quite ready to say which song it is yet, but if you've seen us live lately, you've probably seen us do it.
So it's a road tested song that you've played.
It is, and we didn't exactly do the road version either. We took a gamble and tried something a little different with it. So we'll see what everybody thinks, but I'm loving it. I think it sounds great. So
do you usually do that, like especially more specifically with singles that you're going to release? Are you road testing them first, or is this just kind of a new process for you?
So that was the biggest, I don't know, that was the toughest pill to swallow with Burning Moonlight, is that we didn't get to take those songs on the road before we recorded them. So much so that one of the tunes, I'd been playing it forever at writers' rounds, just me and an acoustic guitar. And we went and, we'd played it a couple times at rehearsal, and we went and recorded it. And then I went in the booth to sing it. And now all of a sudden, now that we got it in front of the band, I can't sing it here. I gotta sing it up in this key, I gotta come up here. So, we had to re-record it all because the key was crazy. I sounded singing like this, and it was just like not what I was trying to do. Yeah. So we had to re-record Ain't Gonna Lie in a new key, because it was just so crazy off. So so that was a weird thing. Just about everything that's going to be on the new record, we're going to have some chance to test it out here. I think it's going to be mostly in Europe, but we're going to get out there, try the songs, and we have an idea of what we want which ones we want to do for the most part. But getting to get out there and road test the arrangements before we actually record them is it's pretty exciting, and it's been a long time since we've been able to do that. So
nice. There's seems like, I'm assuming you're going over to like the UK and stuff. That seems the hot spot for musicians to go right now.
Well, right now, all of my offers are in Scandinavia, but I'm looking for stuff in the UK. So if you know anybody, send them my way. But right now, yeah, Sweden, Norway, and Denmark is what's on the calendar. I was in Denmark last September for some shows, and it was really exciting. We got there on a Monday, and on the previous Friday, they'd lifted all the COVID restrictions. So it was like, it was a crazy week, it's like everybody's like, oh my God, no masks, and everything, whatever. So it was exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just, the reason I brought that up is because a lot of the musicians that I've been talking to recently are gearing up for like a month-long run over in Europe, mainly in the UK, just because that's kind of where they're they happen to like find a PR agent, or somebody that a booking agent, I guess is what it be, not necessarily a PR agent, but so it's just interesting because it's like, I'm coming to Nashville in May, and I've reached out to like 7 different musicians. Oh, I'm going to be over in Europe somewhere, and I'm like, guys, what's going on here? So it's
man. So it's spring fever. We got to get out and get over there. I'm not going till July currently, but we'll see, man. I'm but we can add more dates. I'm looking to add more dates. We want to really do it up. This is we're going to do try and hit all the cities this year, both as much as we can in Europe, but then we're going to come back and hit all our regular spots, from the Northeast to the Southeast, and getting out to Texas if we can, and up around Chicago, and that might be as far west as we get this year.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's hard to believe it's already almost May. And it's like, if you wait too much longer, you're not going to be able to get much further west than Texas.
Yeah.
But
well, and big, with Europe taking a big chunk of the summer, it's just, do what you got to do. But we'll get back to the States and get in as much as we can in the fall.
Yeah, for sure. Are you doing any shows before you leave over for Europe, or is it all pretty much writing, recording right now?
We got one. We're calling it the May fly-in because it's our one show. So we're trying to, get our folks to come meet us in St. Louis next month. It's the 12th of the month. It's a Thursday night. Yeah, May 12th in St. Louis. That's called the Lincoln Theater. Okay. So pretty excited. We're playing with the St. Louis band called Shotgun Creek. That's really great, and I think it's going to be, pretty great evening all around. Even though it's a Thursday, we're kicking off. There's a big art festival kicking off that night. So I think it's gonna be a pretty big party.
Nice. St. Louis is a cool city. I went to school in Southern Illinois, so we went out to St. Louis, not every weekend, but almost at least once a month. We went out to St. Louis. So.
Yeah. Nice.
St. Louis is a cool spot. And so you've got that show, and then of course the big Europe show, and the upcoming album release. Sounds like you got a really busy 2022. Where are you at? Are you still like writing towards the upcoming album, or is it all the songs kind of picked out? I'm kind of wait and see where things look.
I'm always writing toward the new album, but we've picked the song, so now it's a game of can you beat it before we record it. So we're sort of recording them in reverse order. It's like, okay, this one's got to come out first. We got to do that one. And then after that, it's like, all right, what's your favorite song? Let's do that one first.
Yeah.
That give the guys lower on the draft list, a chance to get, beaten.
Gotcha. And I don't know if we talked about this last time that we had you on for the Southern Gothic. What's how do you guys handle like creative elements, like writing and stuff? Is it pretty much you writing all the music, or how does that kind of break down?
Yeah, that's my department. Over the years, I've written a lot of the songs with different people, but I don't think we've ever recorded any songs that I didn't write, short of cover songs. If I wasn't a writer on it. So it's just Southern Gothic's always been my baby, and that's always been my department, writing the tunes.
Gotcha. And how do you kind of go through your writing process? Are you more disciplined with your writing, or are you just kind of, driving down the road, this idea speaks to me?
Yeah, man, I think for me, that's how stuff starts. I have, little places on my phone as I'm driving around, as just living my life, whatever. And things occur to me and I write them down. And then when it's time to write, then I open up the notebook and have a look at, whatever crazy stuff I've jotted down over the previous, months or years, and see what speaks to me that day. There's a lot of things that sit in my notebook for 3 or 4 years. And then, the other day I'm sitting down with Quinn Loggins and Troy Walls. And I've had something in my book, forever and ever, called Whiskey Fix. And I probably 3-4 years, we hadn't written it. Finally that day I pitched it, and one of the other guys was like, such and such. And then we were off, and we finally wrote that song. So, I don't ever give up on an idea. It can sit in there for 5 or 10 years, and maybe one day I'll use it, or maybe it's dumb. Maybe it's just going to sit in there. It's fine. Yeah. It's not hurting anybody in there. Yeah.
And that's just the ideas, right? How many songs do you have that are like written, but never been cut?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be impossible to say. I don't know. 500. Okay. 700. I don't know. So, lots, a whole lot. Yeah.
So you're not afraid to just, if the song's not right, just let it.
No, you do. I mean, you got to write, especially right when I moved here, writing 2 songs a day, most days. And, they're not all going to be perfect, and you're not going to be able to there's going to be more good ones than you're going to be able to focus on. So, for me, I would pass on the stuff that I thought was, my best stuff. I'd pass it on to the publisher, and they'd try to find a home for it. And sometimes they did. And everything else, when I'm writing, for me, it's a bit of a different process. Those usually, the ideas hang around for a long time, and then the song gets all written in just a real short period of time, because I've been thinking about it for a long time. With stuff that I'm writing for cuts, you're usually always working with 2 or 3 other men or women, and so it's a collaboration changes everything.
Yeah, for sure. And the reason I asked that question is because after talking to so many musicians, there's so many different thoughts on what to do with music that doesn't make the cut, so to speak. Like, there's so many musicians that I talk to that they take pride in trying to find a way to make the song work and just get it out because they put so much time and effort. But then you also have some musicians like yourself where, okay, the song is what it is. It's not good enough to get cut, or, it's just kind of a song that sits there, and that's what it is. So it's always kind of an interesting conversation to see where people kind of draw the line of, okay, this song's good, this song's not good. You get what I'm saying.
And I mean, just because your song doesn't get cut doesn't mean it's not good. There's so many songs that get written and cut, 12 years later. So just because it didn't get cut this year doesn't necessarily mean it's never going to get cut, to me. And I think, I don't know, for me, going back and fussing over a song that's written, it's kind of counterproductive, unless there's something that just is bugging me about it. I'm like, you know what? I can definitely do better on that second verse, whatever, go back and work it out. But most of the time, you do it and you put it out in the universe, and something might happen with it and something might not. And, I've learned I'm never right. The ones I think are going to get cut, I'm like, oh, this one's smash getting cut. And then, publisher's like, no. But that other one that it's like, you were like singing on the back porch 2 weeks ago. I'm like, no. He's like, the one where you like yell tequila. like, that? He's like, yeah. He's like, you have the recording? I'm like, not really. Can you make me one? Sure. Well, it's cut in an instant. Okay, that's a stupid song. It doesn't matter. Let's do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's you never know. I guess I never know anyway.
Yeah.
I'm never right. So I try never to count songs out. I just because it didn't happen on day one, I think doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to happen on, day 1241.
Yeah. Was there a specific song that comes to mind that you just, it made no sense to you, or you thought was just like real, that you ended up
that's not one that's not good business. I'm not going to tell you about that, but
okay.
Yes, there were specific songs that I was like, I can't believe that got cut, and I can't believe that was on the radio.
Gotcha. And so just kind of the reverse of that, was there a song that you just fought really hard for to get cut and it ended up getting cut and worked out really well?
No, I think that's kind of a tough thing to do, to pull one over the finish line. At least for me, I've always been kind of on the outskirts of the country world. I live more in Americana land, and I just don't know the levers, the levers to pull to make those kind of things happen. There's a song from Burning Moonlight that was called Villain, that it just kept getting cut and shelved and cut and shelved. And I just couldn't believe that song never actually got put out. Mm-hmm. So that was why that one ended up on our record. Cause I was, that was so close so many times. And Classic did get cut, and released twice, once in Australia and once by an artist here, and didn't do much. So, so we were like, all right, well, we'll do that one too. So, and that kind of became the theme on that EP. It was like, okay, what are the best songs that we can't believe didn't have a, longer life. So,
yeah, for sure. And especially that was off of Burning Moonlight.
Yeah.
Or for the, which, that's kind of a cool way to look at it, especially obviously when you started working on Burning Moonlight, you didn't know that the global pandemic was going to happen, but as that kind of started playing out the way it was going to play out, I think that was probably the perfect time to start taking a few chances on songs and looking at I can't believe we haven't gotten this song out yet, or, whatever the scenario is. So,
hey, well, and that, on that, on that 6-song EP, we've got one of the songs is written by me and LV Shane. Mm-hmm. LV Shane has had 2 number 1s now since then. Mm-hmm. Another song is written with myself and Russell Sutton, who wrote a bunch of those LV Shane tunes, was on that on the My Boy song. Andrew Rollins, who won an Emmy, and then Keith Hetrick, who I wrote Past Midnight with, and produced that track on the record, has right now has a big hit with Jennifer Lopez. So,
oh wow.
So these are all ones like, how did this not, what happened? Just like all these people, we're just winning everywhere. So, I'm sure, the next one we do together will be the one, but those were all like, come on, what are you talking about? Listen to this. Yeah.
I got you completely. And just listening to all the music and all your music in general, it's all really good. And, you've had various levels of success throughout your career, which is amazing. And the fact that you're just constantly out there playing, other than that few-year break that you took to be to go to Nashville and, do all that stuff and start a family and, be with your kids and all that. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it got really good music, and
Thanks, man. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you got what you got coming up in the new project and rest of 2022, and
well, thanks, man.
So, kind of taking a pause outside of music, obviously, what are some of your hobbies? What do you do to kind of get away from the music business?
So, uh-oh,
Oh, you're good.
did you lose me?
Nope, you're
There
good.
we go.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, I lost you. I play in a basketball league as my main my main outlet here. All the guys that played college ball at some level, and it gets pretty intense. And I actually injured myself pretty badly last week. It was the first time that had happened in a few years. I forgot about that. So I've been, laying around whining like a baby for 6 days about, needing help out of bed and such. Finally today, kind of getting back to it, but spent all week crying about that. So that's my number one self-destructive hobby here in Nashville when I'm not doing the music thing.
There are worse things you could be doing other than playing basketball. So
yeah. And then my wife and I own some businesses here in Nashville that kind of take up some of my a lot of my non-music time. So we're doing that and growing those, and so let's working around the clock, doing one thing or the other.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't injure yourself anymore playing basketball, because
No, I feel like that was a one-time thing. I was learned my lesson.
You weren't doing something stupid, were you?
Yeah. It's like, this is the time I'm going to take this charge. It's like, this guy's 6'7". He's not gonna hit me that hard.
Oh, please. Ran you over like a freight truck.
Oh, this is why I don't take charges. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, all right. I remember now.
So
I'm solid 20 years older than a lot of the dudes in that league. So
gotcha.
That doesn't help either. It doesn't help my case.
Yeah. So is this like a semi-pro league, or is it just like a rec league?
Oh no, it's just a rec league, but it's there's tiers of the rec league, and a couple of years ago they told us we couldn't play here anymore. We had to play up in one of these top tiers, and so it's been it's been a years long struggle of dragging ourselves up the rankings, but we're up there now.
Gotcha. And I'm assuming that you played basketball in college or somewhere.
Yeah, only for a year, but that was kind of the one direction I thought my life could take, in college. And, when I went to Georgia State, and whether I wanted to pursue, playing basketball professionally. And I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not, it was going to be an uphill climb for me, no matter how hard I worked. And at the time, there was a record deal on the table, so it was a pretty easy choice. So I took it, and didn't really get a chance to play organized basketball again until I moved to Nashville, and I was here all the time, and I was able to kind of take it up again. And first 5 or 6 seasons were pretty bad, man. Took me a good while to figure out, remember how basketball worked, and also basketball worked a little differently. Back in the olden days, Fred Flintstone days, when I was a high school player.
Gotcha. The way you worded that was perfect and funny, all in the same way. So, no, that's cool. And the fact, how did you make that choice of record deal? Or, I mean, obviously the record deal, that's as much of a guarantee as you're going to get versus maybe playing pro basketball. But was there?
Yeah, well, it was like, I played 1 year, a little tiny school, and then now I was going to Georgia State, and there was the chance to maybe spend 3 more years working my way up to become, a starter at the college level, and then, making myself, a specialist in one way or another to be able to play. And usually that means, guys at my level, you go play in Israel, or you play in China, or you play in Spain. And, that was a lot. And then, I had some buddies, I was playing in one band, and I had some buddies that were like, hey, we got this record deal, and one of the guys in the band is a drunk. You want his spot?
Nice.
I think I do. I think I want the spot. I think I'm gonna take it. So we did it, and we went and toured, and it was not, the music wasn't my thing at all, but it was, my first time on a real tour and seeing what it was like and what life could be like. And so, definitely it was an eye opener, and looking back, I definitely, made the right decision
for sure
for me.
What kind of music were you playing in that band? Was it
hip hop?
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. We actually got signed by Lisa Lopez from TLC.
Oh, wow.
So that was my first record deal with Wish Records in Atlanta.
Nice.
So we were working on that record, and then she passed away, and obviously that was kind of the end of that project. Or the Arista, the parent company, shelved that record and moved on to the next thing and the next thing and the next deal, and it's changed a lot over the years, man. Music business, the kind of music that I play has changed a lot over the years. It's a lot of changes.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, Southern Gothic's been around for a little bit, and that's your primary. There's no other like side bands that you.
Not really. During COVID, there was some dudes here in the neighborhood that we got together and played some real loud '90s covers for fun. Nice. Got all our Rage Against the Machine and Nirvana, out of our system. Just our pent up aggression, just being locked in our homes for months at a time.
For sure. But
I don't plan on. We don't plan on touring.
I got you. It's funny. That's the one thing that I really enjoyed about the pandemic was you saw these little offshoot bands starting to form, like especially in situations where like bands, they lived in different parts of the state, or like if they had to travel to play together and they couldn't, you saw like little offshoot, like essentially cover bands, because that's all they would really do, because they wouldn't have to sit there and write music. It was just like, oh, we're going to do Beatles covers as hard rock music, like whatever, I don't think I ever saw that specifically. But
right. I understand. Yeah.
Just seeing the little offshoot cover bands kind of pop up was kind of interesting and fun. So
I was talking to somebody the other day about doing a 90s and 2000s R&B cover band, like doing Casey and JoJo and Montel Jordan and
that
Destiny's Child, any of that stuff.
That'd be amazing. I'm all about
sometimes.
That. Yeah, for sure. So I don't want to keep you too much longer here, but for the young ones out there that are listening to you, the kids that are ready to make that jump into the next level of their music career, make that first step into the career, what advice do you have for the young ones out there?
I mean, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, because if you're doing it for the money, you're probably not going to make any. You're going to spend more than you make, unless you're just incredibly lucky. And there's been some times in my life where I was incredibly lucky, and there's been the rest of it I've just met losing money playing music. So if you want to do this for a living, make sure you want to do it because you can't live without it. There's a lot of people that have a lot of fun playing in bands on the weekends and have a good job during the week, and you can do that too if it's not the passion for it. Don't put yourself through it. If you do have the passion for it, you don't have another choice. You gotta go all in and do it. And I would just say, be nice to people. That's my biggest piece of advice for people. If you're coming up, be nice. Mm-hmm. Somebody you think sucks or, doesn't know what they're talking about is probably going to be somebody that you're going to need their support or their, patronage or, advice or something down the road. So just be nice to people.
For sure. I think that's just sound advice, period, in life is. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that for the young ones. And hopefully anyone out there listening will take it and run with it and do amazing things with their music career. So for anybody that wants to check out any of the upcoming shows, releases, any of the music you got out now, or just interact with you on social or, reach out, period, where's the best place to get all your contact, or not all your contact information, but all your socials and music and all the fun stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we're just at the Southern Gothic on all the socials. Make sure you put the Southern Gothic, or you'll get other stuff. And our website is thesoutherngothicmusic.com. About to give that thing a facelift with all the new stuff coming out. So probably right around the first of the month, that thing's gonna look new and have some info. We're gonna announce the whole European and U.S. tour here next month. So
awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
keep an eye out.
For sure. Hopefully you'll make your way out to Texas later this year. And, just really excited to see everything that happens in the coming year with the new release and all the shows and all that fun stuff. And really appreciate you taking time to sit down and catch up with us. It's been I'm going to call it about a year and a half.
For sure. Likewise. Thanks for taking the time, having me on, and look forward to chatting with you when the record comes out here and, end of the year.
For sure. Once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.